Welcome to this new Virtual Technology Summit. This event is brought to you by Oracle Technology Network. I'm Yolande Poirier, Senior Community Manager for Java Technologies. So today we will cover a lot of information and about technologies and also about the future. So the Safe Harbor statement is a reminder that you should make purchasing decisions based on the information that you will learn today. This introduction session is about half an hour long, and in the session I will cover community news as well as information about releases, so releases about Java EE, Java SE, and some of the cloud releases. Also, if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to ask them in the chat window. Don't wait until the end of the session to ask your questions. This is valid for this session, but also for any of the sessions today. This is the cover of the latest edition of Java Magazine. The edition was about web application development. So you will find in this edition a lot of articles about web framework APIs. So for example, articles about JAX-RS, servlets, WebSocket, and also an article about Omniface, which is a JSF utility tool. Besides that, there are articles about like the broader Java platform. So for example, an article about Java 9 modularity, about microservices, and also about tools like Docker containers. All the Java magazine editions are very technical. They are written by Java developers who are using the technology that they are writing about. The magazine appears every other month. You can subscribe to it for free. You can subscribe at oracle.com/Java magazine. OTN also publishes technical articles and on an ongoing basis. So we have the same model as the Java magazine. We publish technical articles about the entire platform of Java. All the main technologies, of course, so Java SE, Java EE embedded, but also JVM languages, tools, methodology, community topics. So for example, I just published an article about Java user group. Right now, if you visit oracle.com/Java community, you will find a number of articles about Java SE8, Java SE8 in practice with a lot of code samples, concurrency on the JVM article, and an article about optionals, so patterns and good practices. Other topics are Java FX, Java ME8, and the Raspberry Pi. So if you're interested in submitting an article, you can send an abstract to the email mentioned here. We are looking mostly for technical content, so anything that is related to the Java platform, tools, JVM languages, methodology. So Java 1 was last October, and during the event we recorded a number of sessions that are now posted on the YouTube Java channel. And you have the URL on the slide. So to give you an idea, so there are a number of sessions about the Java platform, so especially Java 9. Oracle engineers presented those sessions about Java 9. There are also a number of sessions about Java 8 and programming languages, microservices, JVM languages, especially Scala, big data, tools like Docker, and third-party frameworks as well. So a lot of examples of implementation. The content is available to anyone, so whether you attended the event or not. I want to give you a quick update on releases. So I will cover Java EE8, Java SE8, Java SE9, and also some of the cloud releases. The Java EE8 release is expected in the spring of 2017. I listed here all the JSRs that will be included in this release, and two links. With the first link you can find the JSRs by status and technology. The second link indicates the project for each JSR, and for each JSR you can subscribe to a mailing list, download the specification drafts, submit a discussion or an issue. Adopt a JSR is a community project to encourage individuals, organizations, user groups, corporations to get involved with JSRs. This is a picture of an activity that we run at Java 1 every year. It's called the Hacker Garden. Andre Almirez on the picture is actually the one organizing this activity. He does it at Java 1, but also at many other conferences around the world. He invites spec leaders, but experts also to discuss technology, but invites everybody to code as well and contribute to an open source project. So this is one example of a community activity, but there are many other activities that the Java community is organizing. So if you go to the Adopt a JSR page listed here, you can find what local user groups and members and community members are doing in different parts of the world, and also how you can contribute individually. So for example, it can be simple as reviewing a specification and writing a blog about it, or writing a blog about a feature that you liked in a JSR. So there are a lot of possibilities if you want to get involved with JSRs. The Java SE 9 release is expected in the spring of 2017. Right now you can find a lot of information about this release on OpenJDK. So OpenJDK is the reference implementation for Java 9. So on the OpenJDK, you can download the current build. You can also receive news and announcement about the Java 9 release. So for example, the Java enhancement proposals that are considered for this release. So a lot of information about the Java release are available on OpenJDK. The YouTube Java channel is also a good resource to learn more about Java 9. Mark Reinhold did a presentation about SunMist Unsafe, and he explains the plan to remove this feature over time. Paul Sandoz did a presentation about replacement solutions for the SunMist Unsafe removal. So he talks about the project Valhalla, Project Panama, and Array 2.0. Those are important presentations about Java 9. As part of the Java 9 playlist, there are a number of Java 1 presentations that the Oracle Java architects gave during Java 1. Alan Badman gave a great overview of the Java 9 project, and I want to play a short excerpt of his presentation where he gives the overview of Java 9. So here is the excerpt.
Just at a high level, just some goals about what JDK 9 and Project Jigsaw are all about. It's all really about making the platform more flexible and scalable. It's all about scaling down to small configurations, to containers that can run in the cloud and so on. It's all about improving the security and the maintainability of the platform, and also for library developers. So lots of high-level goals here, because it'll be great if, as a library maintainer, to be able to encapsulate your APIs and be sure that there isn't any other libraries or applications making use of them. So just some background on we call it the modularity landscape. So there's a JSR going on at the moment called the Java Platform Module System. Mark Reinhold, who's down on the front here, is leading this JSR. That's JSR 376. That's going on in the Java community process. That started earlier this year and is actively working through some of the big issues and the design of the module system. There will be another JSR for Java SE 9 itself. It's too early to start that. That will cover all of the contents and all of the smaller features that will be going into Java SE 9. There's a bunch of what we call JEPs. These are Java enhancement processes. This is the way we work within OpenJDK. This is where we work on the implementation. So I assume everyone knows that the implementation is all done in the OpenJDK project in the open. So there's a bunch of these JEPs. I know it's a bit confusing to have JSR numbers and JEP numbers. So the JEP numbers that we have that cover things module related are 200, 201, 220, 260, and 261. 200 covers the modular JDK. So if you've been to Java 1 before, you'll have seen Mark and others show various spaghetti diagrams of the JDK. So the spaghetti diagram is something that we've been working to clean up over the last couple of years. That has been a really, really long background effort to get it to a sensible and clean module graph. That has taken a lot of effort. What we've done then is we've translated that module graph into the source code layout and the build for the JDK itself, and that's what JEP 201 is all about. It's not something that you actually see if you're just using the builds, but if you're working on the JDK itself, then that has a big impact on the way you work, because it's how the code is organized, how it's built, and so on. And so that's more internally looking. 220 then, I'll be talking a little bit about this. I have a couple of slides on this today. This is about changing the output of the build and what we know today as the JRE and the JDK, and how they're actually laid out, and as I said, I'll cover those. 260 deals with the encapsulation of internal APIs. I have a couple of slides on that today. And 261 is really dealing with the implementation of the module system. We'll be covering some of that today. Okay, so just some background about some of the internal APIs. So I just want to give a couple of background slides before going through at a high level what the changes are that are proposed for Java C9 and JDK 9. So the first thing is we'll just talk about the APIs, and anyone that's used the Java C APIs or even the EE APIs will know that they all are organized into the java.star package or the javax.star for typically, historically, for extensions and EE APIs. A lot of javax.star APIs worked their way into Java SE over the years, as well as Java SE grew. There's then a bunch of JDK specific APIs, and this is totally confusing for most people. There are some JDK specific APIs that are documented, they're supported, and then there's a whole bunch of them that are JDK internal. No one's supposed to use those. If it's got internal in the name, then it probably means that you shouldn't really be using it. You're on thin ice, because it could change at any time. And then there's all the unsupported APIs. So some of these ComSun APIs and JDK APIs that I mentioned earlier, they're in the unsupported bucket, but very, very difficult to know which is in which bucket. But the Sun.star APIs, that was very, very clear. They are always being unsupported. And so Mark actually dug out a web page, which it's not quite 20 years old, but it's close to it. I don't know if anyone will actually recognize this. I'm sorry for folks at the back, you're not going to see the details on all of this, but this is one of the documentation pages from the JDK 1.0, 1.1 documentation bundle. And it explains java.star is the APIs you should be using. Sun.star, totally unsupported, can change at any time. So I've just highlighted just part of the wording around that. And right down the bottom, for those at the back, you won't be able to see it. It's just the date. This is 1996. So we've been warning in the documentation about this for a long time, but who reads the documentation? Now, the compiler has been warning about this since JDK 6, and I'm curious who has actually ever, hands up, who's actually ever seen a Java C warning about using an internal API? Oh, a few people have. Okay. Hands up who ignores Java C warnings. Right. Okay, so I just want to talk about just general compatibility. This is just a couple high-level slides before we get into things. So the general sort of compatibility goals are, if you run on a particular version and you're only using the supported APIs, then you should be able to run on N+1 without any changes. You shouldn't even have to recompile. I think generally we've been quite good at that. Some areas in the past we've been a little bit poor about some of the compatibilities between releases, but a lot of people have learned a lot about compatibility over the years, and I think things have improved quite a lot. So just to say a point there just about supported APIs, there is a process for removing supported APIs. It's a process that isn't used all that often, but given advance notice in a major release, then it is actually possible. And 9 will be one time where we will exercise this right to remove some APIs. These APIs I'll talk about in the later on in the slides. These have been deprecated for some time. We've warned about it in documentation going back for many, many years. So there won't be too much of a surprise, I hope. So just about managing incompatibilities, and there's a whole spectrum of compatibility issues that you get into: API compatibility, behavioral compatibility, and so on. If you ever get a few minutes, is Google Joe Darcy's blog about compatibility and incompatibilities, and it's a very good write-up because he actually puts everything into different buckets and explains the landscape there quite well.
This was Alan Batman speaking, so you can see the rest of his presentation on YouTube. Before Java 9 is released, there are a number of Java 8 releases scheduled, and you will find more information if you visit the page indicated here. You will find the release note also following this link. This is an overview of the cloud platform services that Oracle offers. And if you want to know more about those services, you can visit cloud.oracle.com. But today I want to focus on the application development offering. There are two types of application development solutions that Oracle offers. So one is around development of applications and the other one is about deployment of applications. So the Java Mobile Messaging Application Container Cloud Services are all there to help you deploy different types of applications. And the developer, application builder, and API catalogs are solutions to help you build applications in the cloud. So if you want to know more about the solutions, you can visit the website. I indicated here the URL. So you can try for free the Java Cloud service. It comes with Oracle WebLogic Server and Oracle Coherence, and you can deploy any of your Java application on this cloud. Also available for a free trial is the development environment. And this service comes with source control management, issue tracking, continuous integration, and collaborative wiki. So a full environment to develop your application. This is an interview with Bruno Borges, who is a cloud evangelist for Oracle. And in this interview, he explains what Java EE developers can expect with the Oracle Cloud. So for example, he explains how developers can use exactly the same tools they've been using to develop their application and at the same time the cloud. So tools like Maven, Docker, Aquilia can be used with this cloud solution. You can watch this interview on the YouTube channel. The URL is indicated on the slide. This is the agenda for today, and we have two tracks today, so two concurrent tracks. So a Java EE track, which is the first 3 sessions, and then a Java SE track. And the last 3 sessions are actually part of the Java SE track. During all the presentations, you can download the slides. So at the bottom of your screen, you will see the little icon that I show here. And I just circled the one icon where you can just download the slides from. Today we have a number of live demonstrations, so code demonstrations. And I just wanted to remind you that you can enlarge your screen. So I circled in the corner the little square. So if you click on that little square, you will have a full screen view for those demos. There is about 10 minutes left, and so this is time to ask questions or read your emails. Just a quick reminder that you can learn more or have more training at Oracle University. Thank you for joining us today. Let us know if you have any questions. You can ask questions in the chat window at any time during the sessions, so you don't have to wait until the end of the session if you have questions.